What's up, Ukers? This is a 10-mile bike path on Long Island. I got the EXN here with the stock Kenda, which is a decent tire. It's not the best in my opinion. This was a while ago, back in April, I think, 22. I've since changed the tire for a Pilot Pro Street 2, I think it's called. Pilot Street 2. Anyway, I feel a lot better on the wheel with that new tire. This stock tire didn't really inspire confidence for me. Actually, I was a little scared of the wheel at first. I just didn't feel comfortable on it. The new tire makes me feel a lot better and more comfortable on this wheel. And I guess my skills have improved some since then. I do love and I do miss that swarm of bees sound that Kenda tire makes, that knobby tire. With the Pilot Street tire, it's silent. You don't get that noise, and I like that cool noise, and I miss that about it. But a lot of times when I start out a ride, I like to practice emergency braking pretty much right away, just to make sure that my feet are in good placement, not going to create any wobbles or anything like that. I feel good about my emergency braking skills on that day. It's just a practice I like to do. Having said that, run your battery down a little bit first. Don't try going crazy on braking when you have a fully charged battery. It's not good. So the EXN has some quirks, that's for sure. It was originally designed as a suspension wheel, and for some reason that didn't work out. So they eliminated this suspension, which is what the N stands for, no suspension. So it's the EXN or the XN. And it's a little strange. It's got two batteries on one side and one battery on the other side. And some people complain that it's out of balance, but when it's underway, I've never felt an out of balance issue in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what those people are talking about. The only time I'll feel out of balance is when I come to a complete stop and I got the wheel resting with my right foot holding it up. I have to add extra pressure down towards the ground to keep it from falling away from my right leg, because the two batteries are on the left side. I find this wheel performs pretty good off-road on trails like this. It definitely soaks up like bumps from roots and such like that, and it's a pretty nimble wheel for being 75 pounds. It's quite nimble. It's still a lot to lift over, say, a fallen tree or something, but it does have that kill switch, so you don't have to turn it off to pick it up and bring it over an obstacle or upstairs or something like that. It's one thing I really find annoying about the Sherman. I just picked up a Sherman Max, and I love that wheel. I love its stability, but that freaking thing is heavy. I'm a construction worker. I'll pick up bags of cement, heavy things, lumber, whatever. The Sherman Max is on the verge of uncomfortably heavy to pick up on a bench, to put in your car, to lift over whatever. You gotta use some proper form, or maybe gonna stress out a back muscle or something if you're 50 like me. So this wheel that I got is the EXN high-speed version. And I like that high-speed version, and the reason I got it is because I wanted the overhead. I didn't want to have to sweat going too fast and having it cut out from going too fast. I never wanted that to happen. So I don't have to worry about that happening. The one thing that is the trade-off is under about 15 miles an hour, it's a little lacking in torque. After you get past that 15 miles an hour, this thing accelerates, decelerates really good. But under 15 miles an hour, if I want to go, sometimes I like to play around pretty hard. And if I'm under 15 miles an hour and I slam those brakes on, you can feel the motor slip. Or it's like missing steps. It's like a grinding sound or feeling or something like that. If you've ever experienced it before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not difficult for me at 215 pounds to make that happen. Having said that, I don't feel it's a dangerous issue. It's not like the motor's cutting out on me. It's just losing a little bit of oomph in its torque. It's still braking, and it's easy to recover from. It's just at that slow speed. It just doesn't have super torque that I was hoping for. It has a decent amount of torque, don't get me wrong. It's just when you really, really press on it hard, the torque's not there at the low end. Once you get up to a certain speed, it just feels like it can go like a bat out of hell. It's pretty good. Yeah, when I first got this wheel, it just felt squirrely to me at the higher speeds, and I think it was mainly because of my riding skill. And I'm still improving. I'm like a year and a half in. I'm not like a veteran of this sport. I think getting the Sherman Max, and I only rode that a few times, unlocked some skill sets for me. Because now, one of my battery packs in the Sherman Max was bad. So I had to send that back, so now I'm waiting to ride that thing, even though I only had it for a few weeks. But now I'm back on the EXN, and I'm going faster than I ever went before on the EXN. Before, I only felt comfortable going 30 miles an hour. That was it. And this is a high-speed wheel. This thing will go 50 miles an hour. And I didn't really take it past 30. The other day, I took it up to 38. I felt totally comfortable. I feel like I could push it some more, but I don't like to push myself that fast. I'll go in increments, But 35 now, I feel comfortable hitting 35 any day. 38 was pushing it for me. So I'm talking about how there's little torque on the EXN at slow speed, and I just want to say that I get the same thing on the V12 high torque. So I'm really being critical. If I really dig my heels and the back of my legs in, I can get it to go brrr, you know what I'm talking about? And I just want a wheel that'll I guess I'm just expecting too much. Maybe I'm being too critical on the torque. I never had a problem accelerating off the line with it. It's just that I just want to stop on a dime, and it takes a little bit, So this bike path goes north and south about 10 miles, and halfway through that, there's a state park with a large woods area. And I really enjoy that woods area. It's very diverse in what it has to offer. There's large, wide open, straight trails. There's very tight, technical, narrow, windy trails, and everything in between. There's hills, there's flat areas, and I think it's about 3 miles wide and it's probably like 5 miles from north to south. So it's pretty large area. I mean, I could ride in there for hours and not hit every trail. And the mountain bikers have marked all the trails with different colors. There's a rainbow of colors. There's so many different trails. And as far as like finding trails, I'm really enjoying the application on the phone called All Trails. Sometimes even when I'm just driving around in the car, I'll open up All Trails to see like, oh, what's in this area? You know, where could I ride off-road over here? And it'll show you basically all the trails. And I've found it doesn't have all the trails, but you can't expect that. It has most of the trails though. Like 95% of the trails are mapped out. So I really like that app for off-road experiences. Keep track of where I am, keep track of where I can go. It's a good navigational app. This trail on the south end of the trail, there's some ponds, there's like a riverway. It's really beautiful down at the south end of the trail. Sometimes I'll start down at the south end and drive north to the woods, and then finish my day by driving back down south and parking my car at the south end of the trail on the side of the highway. Now, sometimes I park right at the woods and just go straight in. But it is nice having this trail in the summer. So I'll ride in the woods, I'll work up a sweat. Like, holy crap. And this bike trail goes, you know, you can just cut out of the woods, go on the bike trail, get yourself a nice breeze, go back into the woods and go for another round. There's some sections that have been groomed. All the trails are groomed. But I guess what I'm trying to say is they've set up some jumps, you know, berms, that kind of mountain bike, fun playground kind of stuff.